Hi everyone, my name is Obafunli Ebenezer. Uh, I have with me an Excel tutorial for you again, and what I want to show you in this tutorial is how to do number approximation in Microsoft Excel. Number approximation is very important. For instance, if you have a number with large fractional part or a number with huge decimal, for instance 8 or more decimal places, and all you want is just 3 decimal places or the total of 3 significant numbers. How can you do that with Microsoft Excel? That is very important. You don't forget, in our basic school maths, we are told to put a number to 2 decimal places or 4 significant figure, and you know how we do the rounding up and rounding down in our maths. And here in Microsoft Excel we have some tricks or methods of doing that. And the first one I want to tell you is using the format cell. You format a cell so that it only contains a number with a particular decimal places or particular significant figures. And in this, coming to my left hand, to my right hand here, I have this colon tag price in naira, Nigerian naira, and I have 2.33 here, and actually what I have here is 2.3348, but I have formatted this cell to always minimize the number to, no matter the length of the decimal or how much the decimal places is, I should always minimize it to 2 to automate it to 2 decimal places. And how can you do that yourself? All you just need to do, is to hit Control 1 on my keyboard will come up with this one. So I'll come to number and I'll say how many decimal places. See the decimal places, what I put here is 2. So if you want more, you can say 3, but for me it's 2. And you always see the example as you select the decimal places you want. You always see the examples here, down here. And what I just want is 2. Let me just leave it that way. And to have it better, let me just format it. Come to currency and let me just show the currency I want. I just want this one. Let me just select this one. So I'll hit OK. So this is what I just want here. So if a customer come here now and pay a bill of, let's say, 200 points, let's say 9999. So what are we going to see there? Let's just go away from there. Excel will automatically perform what we need to see there. You can see it rounded up just the way we have specified, that all we want is 2 decimal places. So it round the 99 up to 1 and add the 1 to the whole number, which is 200, to give us 201, and the fractional part or decimal part is put to be 00. So we still have some other way where you can do approximation in Microsoft Excel, and the other way you can is using Excel function. Don't forget, Microsoft Excel contains more than 400 good functions that can help you to simplify and automate your work. So what I have to my left hand side here is some functions I have put in place to show you. The first one here is round. Round is the description here, rounds a number to a specified number of digits. So what you just need to do when you want to use round is to call the function, and this is where I have used it, and this is the function. It is called round. So if I want to use this one, all I just need to do is to come here and say equals round, the name of the function. What do I want to round? I want to round this number to what? I want to round it maybe to digits, 2. Let me say 2 digits, and I close it, or you can press enter. So this is what you'll see here. It will just show you the number you have specified. We have specified to have 2 digits, as into a fractional part to a decimal part. That is what we have here. So when I come here and say I want 1, let's see what will come up. So that's what we just have there. We are shown 1, so which is 1 after the decimal places. The remainder is 2. So that's what I just did here. What I did here. What the number I was working on is this number. and as you can see, it is called D3, and this D3 here, the number in its full part is 3.333333, which is 10 divided by 3, and the answer is here. And what I did, if I want to, just for experiment's sake, I put it to be 4. Let's see what we see. You can see the decimal places has been changed to 4, and if I come here, I say 1. Let's see what happens. You can see the decimal places has been changed to 1. Now let's go to the next one, and the next one is round down. What will this do? Round a number down towards 0. It round it down towards 0. Peradventure you have 3.33. Let's see what we still have here with this one, and we are still working with this number here, and it's a round down D3, this D3 to 3, using the number value or the number digit 3. So that is what you're seeing here, and this is the 3 you have here. It's rounded down to so that we have the fractional part to contain 3 digits. Let's just come here and say we want, just one digit. It's rounded down towards 0. Let's say we want 1 digit. So this is what you will see here. And let's say we want it towards 5. Let's see what we see there. And you can see the fractional part has been made to be 3 digits. So that's why you just use that. So we go to the next one. We have roundup. Roundups says rounds a number up away from 0. It travel away from 0, go to number 1, 2, 3, and upward. So what do we have here? We have still this one, and we'll say we want to round the D3 up to 2 decimal places. For your sight or seeing sake, let me just put this one to 3. I'm changing from 2 to 3, the number digits. So you see what we have here. You can see what happened here is that it selected 1, 2 for the first 2 parts, and on the third part it rounded up 3 to 5. It assumed that 3 is up to another digit 1, so that 1 is added to the last 3. This 3, the 3 here, the fourth 3 here is rounded up to 1. Don't forget, that's what it told us. Rounds a number up away from 0. So 5 is more than 0. It rounded up to another part when that part is leaving. So when this 3 is leaving here, it was rounded up to 1, and the 1 was added to this third 3. That's why you are seeing 4 here. So if I decide to make this one 2, you see what we will have there is 3.34. Let me just do that. So that is what happened. The third 3 now has been rounded up to 1, and it has been added to the second 3 in the decimal, in the fractional part. So I am going to the next part, and the next part I have here, the next function I have here, is truncate. What is truncating? Truncating just means its name is just cutting off or yanking off a part of a digit, and then it says it truncates a number to an integer by removing the fractional part. So that's what it does. So we still come here, truncate. When we truncate this same D3, well, we have everything removed. All these fractional parts were removed, so what we have left is 3 as a whole number. So if you have a lot of digits returning back to your cell, and the only part you want from it is just having the whole number, just call on truncate. Truncate will get the fractional part or the decimal part removed and leave you with the whole number or the integer part. So I try to show you truncate in another form. So what I did here is that I truncate 0.95. So 0.95, don't forget, the whole number part is 0. The other part is not up to 1. So it's not. So every other part is going for the 0.495 is going off. So the answer we have here is 0. Don't forget, when you want to call trunc, you just type TRUNC, then into the value you want to truncate, and it only require a single argument. Unlike the other one we have tried, it required a single argument, and it's just the number you want to operate upon. So don't forget how we call the other function also. Round is spelled round, just its name, and round down is called by round down. Then round up is called round up, and truncate just TRUNC. And I go to the M round. What is M round? M round is a multiple round. That's what the M stands for. So it returns a number rounded to the desired multiple. What do I mean by that? This is what I'm working on. See what I have here. I am rounding 30 using 8. Let me show you. So what we have here is the number you want to work upon, which is 30. This is the first number as the first argument. Then the multiple of what? A multiple of 8. A multiple of 8. So this is the multiple. So what do we have here? What we see here is 32. What happened? What did the Excel really do? When we have 32, how many times with 8 goes in 32? We have 8 times 1, 8, 8 times 2, 16, 8 times 3, 24, and 8 times 4, 32. So what Excel does is that it tries to find how many times will 8 go in 30, and what will be the result. So if you can see logically, the number of times it goes in 32 is just 3, which is 24. Which is 24, and what we have left is 6. So what Excel will now do with the remaining 6 is check if 6 is still up to the half, is equal to the half of 8, or more than, if it is equal or greater than the half of 8. And what is the half of 8? The half of 8, which is our multiple, is 4. So Excel will look at the remainder after getting 8 in 3 places in 30, which is 24. The remainder is 6. So is 8 divided by 2, which is 4, more or greater or equals to the remainder, which is 6. So if the remainder is equal or greater to 4, which is the half of 8, you will still have it multiplying to approximating the 4 to 8 again. So what we have here is 32. So let me just show you what I really mean. Let me change this number to 2. Let's see what happens. What we have here is 30. What happened is that 30 using the multiple of 2 is 2 times 2 times 2. When you keep dividing, what you have left is just 15 times 2, and there is no remainder. We only have a remainder of 0. Also, the same thing will go for 3. We will have 3 times 10 and 3 times 3 times 3. When you divide 3 times 10, you still have no remainder. But when we use 4, let's see when we use 4, what happens. So when we use 4, it comes up with 32. It's just the same thing like what we did before. 4, it will be 4 times 2 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, then 4 times 16, 4 is 16, 4 times 20, 4 times 7 is 28, but we will have a remainder of 2. The remainder of 2 is still equal to the half of 4, which is our multiple. When we divide 4 divided by 2 is 2, and it still equals to the remainder we have left. That's why we are still having 32 here. So when we go with 5, you will see it still returns 30. When we go with 6, it still returns 30, because those two numbers we can be divided. 30 can be divided by those two numbers. But let's go with 7 and see what we will see. So what we have here is 28. Why is it so? 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, 7 times 4 is 28 with a remainder of 2. But the remainder 2 is not up to the half of 7, our multiple. Don't forget, 7 divided by 3 is 3.5, and 2 that we have left here is not up to 3.5. That's why it is round off. That 2 was thrown away, and the remainder we have here is 32. I hope you get that point. It's very easy. You just call the hem round, and it helps you to perform that. So I've come to another function called ceiling. What does ceiling mean? Ceiling is called by call the name ceiling, then the number you want to work on, which is our number here, D3, and to how many significant do you want it to be. So let it know, and it will come like that. So what it returns, according to the description we have here, is returns a number rounded up away from 0 to the nearest multiple of the significant. So in how many times can we get 4 in this 3.3? So don't forget, we are rounding it up, we are not rounding it down. So if what we have left is still up to is close to 4, which is a multiple, don't forget what we have here. So our multiple here is 2. So if what we have left, you know, when we divide 2 from 3 here, we still have 1.3333 from what we have here. I'm working here. So it tries to check can if there is a remainder there, it will round it up close to 2. It will become 2. So that's what it does here. It rounds this 1.33 that is left here after using 2 and convert it to 2. That is why you are seeing 4 here. So what of when we come here, this is floor round it down towards 0 in multiple of the number significance you specify. So what we just put here is 3. We're still working on this one, and what we have here, sorry, let me show you, is floor, and it's just D3. What's the number of significance we want to see 3. So what it does here is that it check here. The only thing it could return here is 3. It look for how many 3 is there in 3. It find it to be 1. So the 1 returns back this 3. But the remaining parts could not go, or is not divisible by 3 again, or coming up with a whole number. That's why this was rounded up to what? To 0. The fractional part was rounded up to 0. So I come straight away to integer, round a number down to the nearest integer. So what happens? We are still working with here. This one throws the number up to the nearest integer. The nearest integer in 3.3333 is 3. So what's the integer? It is 3. So I come to even. So even is also a way of rounding up number or approximating number, returns number rounded up to the nearest even integer. So you try to round up number to the nearest even integer. For instance, if you want to round up 3, the same 3 we have here, D3, and which is 3.333 and so on. And what we are going to have here is 4, because the nearest integer that is close to 3.33333 is 4. So when we come to odd gives you, it rounded up the number to the nearest odd number. So after 3, the next number in the number counting system base 10 is 4, but 4 is an even number. So it automatically shifts to the next number and check if that is an odd number, and the next number after 4 is 5. So that's why you are seeing 5 here. I hope you are clear with this, and it will be of help to you. I'm sorry for taking your time, but it is good to explain all these functions, and you can still work with them and play with them. And I thank you for watching through from beginning to end. You know, without you being there, I cannot be here. I appreciate you for being there. Please kindly make your comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can still ask me your question, and I'll still be waiting to hear from you. Bye for now.